One thing that us Americans need to get a better job of doing is paying ourselves first. What paying yourself first means is as soon as you get your paycheck, the first thing you do is you put some aside for savings, whether it's an emergency fund. Well, yeah, that, an emergency fund. First thing you do is you save and invest. You pay yourself first. You set aside funds for yourself just in case if something happens in life and you need cash on hand or just for retirement. Because one thing that Americans do is the second we get our paycheck, we're spending it. Some of us don't even have enough for our bills. We're buying shoes. We're at the mall. We have fast food restaurants. We at all these other places. But we can't even pay ourselves first. We can't even set no money aside for savings. We can't even set no money aside for our future self. We can't even invest our money. Like a lot of Americans don't even have no money in retirement. That is scary when you don't have no money in retirement. And a lot of people don't even have an emergency fund, meaning they're just a layoff away from financial ruin. Because if you get laid off your job and you don't have any savings, what are you going to do at that point? You don't have any money. You don't have any cash flow coming in. And you still need money for your everyday expenses, like your rent, your mortgage, your bills, your food, your groceries, transportation, all that. Like like me, ways I pay myself first is by contributing to my companies, both my companies that I work at, 401k plans, and I set aside money for them for my emergency fund, and I invest in something called a Roth IRA. Roth IRA is an individual retirement account. There's a traditional and a Roth. The difference between a traditional and a Roth IRA is with a traditional, you don't pay taxes on it now, but you do later when you take it out of retirement. For Roth IRA, you pay the taxes on your money now, and then when you take it out, it's tax free. So I like the Roth IRA because I pay the taxes now, and then later when I retire, later on down the road in life, when I take it out, it's tax free, and that's all my money, and it gains interest, compound interest over time when you invest it into low cost index funds, and when you invest into like exchange trades funds and stuff like that, and index funds and mutual funds. Because when you invest in companies, you essentially own parts of the company. It's something called shares. When you invest in it, you now own a part of it. You now own a part of that company. How much money you put in is how much of the company that you own. Roth IRA is meant for people who want to retire. It's not for daily stocks, because stock market, it goes up and down daily, but it smooths out over time. Every time there has been a stock market crash, the stock market has always recovered. So for these are my people who invest, if you invest, be in it for the long game, not the short game, but the long game, because your future self will be proud. But nowadays, paying yourself first is so important with so much economic volatility, with so much stuff going on, with prices raising, inflation going up. Inflation can't even keep up with wages can't even keep up with inflation. Wages becoming, it's like they're stagnant. Cost of living is rising. Rent is rising. Mortgages are rising. Interest rates have been going down, so that's good. But that doesn't affect the mortgages. That doesn't affect the mortgage rates. And it seems like it's just everybody. It's just like, I'm not saying everybody's struggling, but right now times are hard, and this is the time where you really gotta lock in and become financially literate. Cause when it comes down to your finances, ain't nobody coming to save you. I'm gonna say that again. When it comes down to your finances, ain't nobody coming to save you. Your own financial problems is your own financial problems. Your debt problem is your own debt problem. So we can't really rely on nobody else to come save us. Sure, people might want to help us. I give people advice. I give them a little game. I give them a little knowledge. I share a little bit of knowledge that I have learned and that I have developed over the years. Because being financially literate is so important. And one of the first things that any person in the finance world will tell you is to pay yourself first. I'm telling you that. Pay yourself first. Before you pay a bill, before you make any payments, even if it's just 10%, even if it's just 5%, because a lot of people don't even know how to save money, and that's insane. A lot of people don't even know how to save money. When they get it, they spend it. Then they don't even know then they don't even know where their money is going, and they're always financially stressed, and they don't even know how to budget. Because if you don't know how to save, it's gonna be rough for you if you don't know how to save. Because saving money is so important. I'll say that again. Saving money is so important. But that all comes down to paying yourself first, even if it's just 10, 20, or 30%. I shared the ways I paid myself first. Now you gotta find ways to pay yourself first. Get out of debt, get out of credit card debt, see if you can pay your card note if you have one, and your mortgage off sooner. Well, you can still save if you still have a car note or even and mortgage, because those are fixed payments and that is called installment credit. But get out of credit card debt because those interest rates are high. They get that 3 to 6 months emergency fund cash reserve all set. Then what you got that, start investing for retirement. Because that's what you got to do if you want to build wealth. Because you don't want to work forever. You don't want to work till you're 70, 80 years old. At some point, you want your money working harder for you. That doesn't happen if we don't establish the basic principle of what are the money rules, which is paying ourselves first. Another thing that us Americans got to do is we got to live below our means. Because that's what paying ourselves essentially is. We establish saving money, and now we live below our means. Living below your means is setting a budget and living on less than you make and allocating some of your paycheck or some of your money towards savings, because that is the first step of building wealth. That's low-key the foundation and the principle is living below your means. People who have built wealth over the years, they understand the importance of living below their means. Meaning, if they make, let's say they make $50,000 a year, live on 40 or even 30,000, but don't live on more than you make. Because a lot of people, because let me tell you something. In America, we don't have a wage problem. We don't. A lot of us are making great to excellent money. Some people are making over 100K a year, 80, some 70, 80, 90, 100, you name it. Some are even making over 100K a year. But some of Americans still say that they're struggling to despite them earning higher wages, because the simple fact they overspend and they got too much debt. You see, when you don't live below your means, you have a higher chance of getting into debt, because at that point you're living on credit. You're maxing out the credit cards. You're just taking out loans that you can't pay back. You're buying too much car. You're buying too much house. What I mean by buying too much car, buying too much house, is basically by buying a car that you know you can't afford, or buying a house that you know you can't afford. It has a high interest rate, and it's going to take you a long time to pay it off. If you're going to finance a car, you should be able to pay it off in 3 years, because cars are a depreciating asset. Cars do not go up in value, but they go down in value. And that's another thing where people get tricked up at, is cars. Car repossessions have gone up a lot. Car repossessions have spiked because they can't afford to pay the car note and they just bought too much car. It's that simple. With paying yourself first, it also comes with living below your means. So when you live below your means and you start paying yourself first, you start saving money, that builds financial peace of mind. That builds stability, because a job could let you go at any moment. When you're on the job, always remember that at any moment the job could let you go just like that. Anybody could be let go on a job. So you got to make sure that you have some money saved up, so where if something happens to you, all right, I still got money. I still got cash to pay for it until I find my next employment opportunity. That's the way you gotta think, and that's what you got. That's where you gotta be with money. You gotta save some, because in this economy, anything can happen. There's so much economic volatility, and prices have just been skyrocketing over the years. And we gotta save money. We gotta budget, and we gotta pay ourselves first. But that's gonna be it for the video today. Subscribe and follow for more. Stay blessed. Peace.